What if I told you that some of the most fascinating places in Europe are the ones people left behind? Forgotten towns, empty castles, crumbling hospitals, and even whole cities where time has stood still. Today, I'm taking you on a journey through Europe's abandoned places you can actually visit. This isn't about urban exploring with bolt cutters and flashlights. These are legal, accessible, eerie, and beautiful destinations that let you step right into history. And sometimes it feels like stepping into another world. Pack your sense of adventure and maybe an extra torch, because we're heading off the beaten path into the strange, the beautiful, and the forgotten. One, Pripyat, Ukraine, the frozen city. We start with perhaps the most famous abandoned city on Earth, Pripyat, Ukraine. Established in 1970, it was built as the model Soviet town for workers of the nearby Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Modern apartments, schools, amusement parks, it had it all. But in April 1986, life here stopped overnight after the Chernobyl disaster forced the evacuation of 50,000 residents in just 36 hours. Walking through Pripyat today is surreal. The iconic Ferris wheel, built for a festival that never happened, stands rusting against the skyline. Schools are frozen in time, with textbooks still on desks. Apartment blocks have been swallowed by nature, trees bursting through windows, and roots cracking concrete. It's eerie, but also strangely peaceful. The city has become a time capsule of late Soviet life, and tours from Kyiv allow you to safely explore under strict radiation guidelines. Standing in Pripyat feels like stepping onto a movie set, but this isn't no film. It's the very real reminder of how quickly life can vanish. 2. Oradour-sur-Glane, France, a village in silence. From Eastern Europe, we head west to Oradour-sur-Glane in France. This isn't just an abandoned place, it's a preserved scar. In June 1944, Nazi troops massacred 642 villagers here, destroying the town in retaliation for resistance activities. After the war, Charles de Gaulle ordered that the ruins never be rebuilt so that future generations could see them. Walking through Oradour today, you'll find burned-out cars, sewing machines, and empty houses, and the church where villagers were trapped. The silence here is heavier than any words. It's not spooky abandoned, it's solemn, a memorial frozen in time. It's one of the most powerful places you can visit in Europe, not just for its history, but because it forces you to feel history in a way a museum never could. 3. Pyramiden, Svalbard, Norway, the Arctic ghost town. Now let's head far north, almost to the top of the world, to Pyramiden, Norway. Located on the Arctic archipelago of Svalbard, this was once a bustling Soviet mining settlement. Picture rows of Soviet apartment blocks, a sports hall, a school, and even the northernmost statue of Lenin, all built against a backdrop of snow and polar bears. When the mine closed in 1998, the workers left in a hurry, and the town was abandoned. Today, you can visit Pyramiden by boat or snowmobile from Longyearbyen and explore guided tours of the eerily well-preserved buildings. Inside, you'll find classrooms with children's drawings, a grand piano in the concert hall, and dusty gym equipment. It's like the Soviets just stepped out for a cigarette 25 years ago. And yes, if you're brave enough, you can even stay overnight in the Pyramiden Hotel. The only downside? The polar bears. Definitely not your usual Airbnb issue. 4. Craco, Italy, the cinematic ghost town. Next stop, Craco in southern Italy. This medieval hilltop town dates back to the 8th century, but was abandoned in the 1960s due to landslides and earthquakes. What's left is a hauntingly beautiful skeleton of stone houses, narrow streets, and a castle tower looming over the valley below. Craco looks like it was made for cinema, and Hollywood noticed. Movies like The Passion of the Christ and Quantum of Solace film scenes here. Walking through, you'll feel like an extra in a post-apocalyptic epic, except instead of zombies, you'll be met with curious cats and the occasional tour guide. The best part? Craco is open for guided visits, so you can wander through its crumbling streets and imagine what life was like before the Earth decided otherwise. 5. Beelitz-Heilstätten, Germany, the creepy hospital complex. Now, for something straight out of a horror movie. Beelitz-Heilstätten, near Berlin. Built in the late 19th century as a tuberculosis sanatorium, it later became a military hospital during both World Wars. Fun fact, a young Adolf Hitler was treated here in World War I after being wounded. After the Cold War, the sprawling complex of over 60 buildings was abandoned. Today, nature is reclaiming it. Ivy crawling up walls, trees sprouting through floors. The peeling paint and endless hallways make it a dream or nightmare for photographers. But here's the twist. Parts of Beelitz have been restored and opened to visitors with guided tours and even a treetop walkway overlooking the ruins. It's creepy, fascinating, and strangely beautiful, like wandering through a set for Stranger Things. Just maybe don't come alone at night. 6. Hoshima Island of Europe. No, it's Hirta, Scotland, St. Kilda. Next we sail west to the remote St. Kilda archipelago off the coast of Scotland. For centuries, small communities survived here, living off seabirds and sheep until the hardships of isolation forced the last residents to evacuate in 1930. Today, stone cottages still line the windswept bay, while cliffs rise dramatically behind them. Visiting St. Kilda is like stepping back in time to a forgotten world. The houses feel almost prehistoric, and the silence is only broken by seabirds. In fact, the island is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its incredible wildlife. It's not spooky so much as melancholy, a reminder of how harsh life once was on the edges of Europe. 7. Varosha, Cyprus, the abandoned beach resort. Now for a very different kind of ghost town, Varosha in Famagusta, Cyprus. In the 1970s, Varosha was the Monte Carlo of the Mediterranean. Luxury hotels, nightclubs, and glamorous beaches drew celebrities like Elizabeth Taylor. But in 1974, when Turkey invaded Cyprus, Varosha's residents fled and the city was sealed off behind barbed wire. For decades, it stood frozen. Luxury hotels crumbling in the sun, shop windows still full of 70s fashion. Recently, parts of Varosha have reopened for visitors, though under controversial circumstances. Walking along its empty beachfront is haunting. The sand is golden, the sea is turquoise, but behind you, the hotels are deaded and lifeless. It's a rare chance to see a ghost resort, a place where time stopped in the disco era. 8. The Salina Turda salt mine in Romania. From abandoned to amazing. For our last stop, let's end on something a little different. Salina Turda in Transylvania, Romania. Once an abandoned salt mine dating back to the Middle Ages, it's been transformed into a spectacular underground attraction. Imagine vast caverns lit by futuristic lights, a Ferris wheel spinning in the dark, and even an underground lake where you can row boats. It's like Disneyland met Lord of the Rings. But here's the kicker. All of this was built inside a mine that once sat abandoned for decades. Today, it's one of Romania's most unique attractions and proof that not all abandoned places stay forgotten. Sometimes they're reborn into something extraordinary. So, from the frozen streets of Pripyat to the crumbling hilltops of Craco, from Arctic ghost towns to Mediterranean resorts stuck in the 70s, Europe's abandoned places are more than ruins. They're living stories of disaster, war, isolation, and sometimes rebirth. Visiting them isn't just about the thrill of exploring the eerie. It's about connecting with the past, seeing how fragile human creations can be, and realizing that nature always wins in the end. So, next time you're planning a trip, skip one tourist hotspot and go find the beauty in Europe's forgotten corners. Just maybe bring a flashlight.